Good afternoon and good evening. Welcome to the 8th in a series of monthly educational webinars put on by FIBREE, of course, the Foundation for International Blockchain and Real Estate Expertise. Today is an especially exciting session. We're launching the 3rd annual industry report and publicizing it today. So this is pretty exciting for all of us here, and there's lots of great content in this particular session. FIBREE has over 110 chapters around the world, close to 1,000 members and 12,000 participants in meetups around the world. My name is John Markunis. I'm the chair a board director with FIBREE. I'm the chair of the City of Miami's Florida's chapter, and I'm the chair of FIBREE's Land Registry Working Group. And better yet, I'm honored to have been invited to moderate today's webinar. You know, we have over 100 attendees registered from around the world. This is incredible. Europe, North America, South America, Asia Pacific, Middle East, and Africa. People from all over. And not to state the obvious, but real estate is a global asset. But increasingly so, the use and implementation and experimentation with blockchain is on the rise as well, all over the world, in all sectors of real estate. Construction, property management, tokenization, land registry, property identifiers, and so on. The format is similar to past webinars. I'll be introducing the 3 speakers. They'll have 10 minutes each to present on the topics and the report findings. We encourage audience questions, and please feel free to use the chat box throughout the next 45 minutes, hour, to ask questions, make some comments. We'll get to those as best as we can. And this, I should say, this is being recorded and will be available on the FIBREE Web's YouTube channel through the website. Our first speaker, presenter, is Achim Judelski. He's zooming in from Berlin, Germany. Thank you, Achim. He is the co-founder and president of FIBREE, and I just found out recently has become a university lecturer at the Berlin University of Technology and Economics. Now, Achim will open up the report presentation with a 5-minute session on the 3 years of FIBREE's history and its industry reports. And afterwards, Achim will finish with a 5-minute keynote, if you will, on an outlook on FIBREE and what's happening this year, 2021, and beyond. Our second presenter is Yael Tamar. She's the co-CEO and co-founder of Solid Block, a tokenization startup. She's also the co-chair of the FIBREE chapter in Tel Aviv, Israel. Yael was instrumental in organizing and formatting this industry report, and she'll be exploring the themes and insights from the 2021 articles for us. She's joining us, zooming in from Tel Aviv. The topic, of course, is the themes from the articles. Speaker number 3, the presenter is Florian Huber. He's the managing partner and co-founder of real estate investment company Bricks29. And he's the co-founder of FIBREE. And Florian is zooming in from Vienna, Austria. Thank you so much, Florian. And Florian's topic is the state of blockchain in 2021. So at this point, with no further delay, I'm going to hand the microphone, lectern, and podium over to Achim. He'll talk about 3 years of FIBREE and its industry report. Achim, the floor is yours.
Thanks a lot, John. Thanks for the introduction and for the great presenting of FIBREE and this webinar. And welcome to everybody who's joining us today for this really another great event we're having at FIBREE. And obviously it's one of the key events we have during the year to present the FIBREE Industry Report. As John mentioned, it's the 3rd time we're doing this. So I wouldn't say it's a routine, but I think we get a bit of the hang of it. But I'm still really excited, and I think seeing the completed result, it's really fantastic, because you constantly see both, like on the one side, we continue to do what we did the years before, but there's constantly a new edge to it. And obviously, like the kind of goal we have is to shape and represent the blockchain real estate industry around the world. And so at large, we have like two big sections, which the ones of you who've seen the old reports know that. So we have like the article section that has been headed by Yael this year, and therefore obviously she's talking about this later. And I think if you're looking at this content part, like it's really amazing to see like the different topics we could collect, again, from all over the world, so like from like mostly regional chairs or other contributors in FIBREE, that really draw a vivid picture of activities we witness over the last 12 months around the world on the topic of blockchain and real estate. And I think if you look back the last couple of years, you mostly saw like topics like tokenization, obviously, and land registry, who are like kind of, in my opinion, more or less like the traditional topics we are looking into. But this year we really have kind of many different new topics, like obviously NFT or even in text topics and digital assets. And I think it really highlights that there's a lot of things going on. And obviously this is something that is shaping FIBREE as well. So we really have all kind of combine all these topics. And I think the industry report, and especially this kind of article part we're offering you in this report, is really giving you a very good way to enter these different topics. And I also like, it's like usually we have a couple of pages only, like 1, 2, 3 pages per article. So it's a really good way to dive into it. You get some depth, but it's not like overwhelming. And that's obviously something that is important if you're not coming from the tech space, if you're coming from the real estate space. And I think this is really definitely a goal we have and we achieved again in this report. Like the other second topic part we have and is like the other country pages, and Florian will talk about this later. And I think I'm especially proud on this again because there we list all the countries that are represented within FIBREE. And this year we managed to have like 40 different countries from all over the world in there. And each country is represented with a 2-pager that gives you in a very nice and very like visual way and insight in what's going on in this country. And I think you can see very well how these countries are kind of maybe connected or not connected, where the focuses are in these different countries. And for me, I'm really proud that we can do this, that we managed to get all this information together from very like highly acclaimed experts, and can actually present this to you in this report. So this is, I think we will come back to you a bit after that, Florian and Yael talk a bit about the next steps we're planning in FIBREE. But for now, I'm happy to hand over to Yael, and she will give you insights in the articles of the report.
Thank you so much, Akin. That was fun. Can everybody see me? Oh. Can everybody see me and hear me?
Yes, we do.
Okay, fantastic. All right, so as Akin said, I was in charge of putting together, just kind of curating and editing the articles that we got. And in fact, there were a lot of new topics, and that illustrated the deep expertise of FIBREE members, which is very, very exciting. And frankly, I think that we definitely need to expand this content session into something more, into something bigger, where the authors can talk about their level of expertise. So hopefully we'll organize that soon. And you know, this is just going to be a very quick overview to kind of give you a taste on what people, what our FIBREE chairs are writing about and interesting things happening around the world. So without further ado, let's move to the first article. Okay, so basically in a gist, some of the really interesting topics explored this year were NFTs and the difference between fungible and non-fungible tokens in real estate. Irina's article about ownership was particularly insightful, kind of leading through the history of ownership before internet even, or, you know, in way back into the current times. And the tax scheme in Italy article was really interesting, kind of to talk about how Italy is working to working to make in homes more environmentally sustainable through different tax advantages. We also looked at the Portuguese governmental plan to digitize and aggregate information in rural real estate and to track and calculate carbon emissions in new buildings. So these are kind of an overview of the articles that were explored. So you can move to the next one. So let's talk about them one by one very briefly. So the article by Aneta was exploring the transformation of land and property market in blockchain in kind of the different obstacles that we're facing along the way, right? So this article is about the initiatives that were kind of put forward and then what is holding us behind, right? What is holding us behind from getting to the ultimate goal of having a blockchain title registry. So this could be very interesting for anybody in other countries where similar transformations were on the way to happen and then didn't end up getting to where they needed to be. So the next article is by Dennis, and it's talking actually about the tokenization challenge that is happening right now. Right now, we're looking at different teams all over the world to apply to this challenge, and everybody definitely needs to apply. And you don't have to necessarily be a tokenization platform, of course. All you need is to have real estate experience and to have a project with which you want to apply, right? So actually, the date that's listed here was June 15th. Akim, is this extended? Is this date extended? The June 15th date?
No, that is closed at that time.
It is closed at the time. Okay, got it. Okay, so the next one, the power of ownership. Like I said, this is very interesting case study that goes way back to what ownership is and how it's changing. It's changing with respect to the blockchain type of ownership, NFTs, and other types of tokens. How you can transfer tokens, and basically how you can use this technology in the real world, right? So we're looking at a case study here. So the next one. Okay, the next one is about transparency. See, it's amazing how we have a lot of different topics in this report. So the transparency in real estate, how there's a lot of frustration in the world of real estate in general, not even associated with blockchain. There's lots of frustration among researchers and also among companies that do real estate because of the lack of data. We're not even talking about unified data, just in general, gathering data, being able to analyze data and anything that's related to it. And of course, this lack of transparency creates a lot of asymmetry in the markets, right? So then this article by Roland suggests how we can use blockchain to overcome this lack of transparency. All right, so the next one, I mentioned that it's a very interesting, again, case study by Federica about how a tax credit solution can be used to incentivize family-owned homes to become more environmentally sustainable, right? And how existing solutions are actually working to do that, and these are blockchain-based solutions, right? And the most interesting part that I think is in this article is that the participants don't even need to know how blockchain works. Just like when we use internet, for example, to solve problems, we don't have to understand how that works, right? So people are using it without even realizing it. All right, so the next one, centralization of data in real estate by Alessandro. Now, so basically this article is exploring how real estate is a powerful generation of data, right? Then if we organize this data in one big database, right, that's easy to manage, we can actually, it can actually help us not only to manage specifically real estate, right, but in general to have some really powerful insights in this, overall in governance and understanding what's happening in cities, countries, municipalities, and so on. So, and of course, blockchain is the key to creating this sort of centralized database. So the next one is a blockchain-based climate action in real estate industry by Stephanie. So, and this article is talking about how real estate, in fact, a lot of people may not know, but is one of the biggest, most polluting industries out there, right? But in fact, there's so many technological solutions that can help us limit the amount of pollution, right? And make the whole industry much more sustainable. However, it is difficult to implement them. They're kind of fragmented. These solutions are fragmented. These solutions are not easy to access. And we can actually use blockchain to make it more accessible. So next one. Next one is mine. The really recent phenomenon that we at SolidBlock have been observing is when cryptocurrency was at its peak, $50,000 per Bitcoin, we saw a lot of individuals wanting to cash out and buy real estate with their cryptocurrency. So what we did was to establish a way to facilitate buying real estate with crypto. And I wanted to share our experience on how to get this done and how to go through the full process based on the United States law and a procedure. It's similar, although not the same in other parts of the world. So based on this experience, I think that other companies can also take it forward. Next one. All right, next one is also mine. I don't know why we put them all together, but basically another frequent question that we're being asked is, you're doing tokenization. How is that different from crowdfunding? So I felt it was important to share with the audience what the difference is. But on the way to getting there, we wanted to explain what crowdfunding actually is, right? How it works, what are some use cases, how it started, and so on. So this is also for people to learn about crowdfunding. Okay, next. Okay, this is an article by Jan, and it's basically talking about different research that was done all over the world and what the research is focused on. So this one is an important article because it kind of shows what is being researched and which areas are actually not being researched, right? So, I think there is a lot of opportunity here for other people and members of FIBREE to propose articles and write them, right, possibly to academic journals. All right, next. Okay, this is the article about unique object identifiers. Like FIBREE has been doing a lot on this front. I think it's probably one of the most active subject matter groups in the FIBREE. And then this article is showing a case of VUPI, building a unique counter, right, which is very similar or can be almost translated as unique object identifier. And it's a government-sponsored project that intends to digitize and aggregate what today is dispersed sets of data, right? So this is a very, very interesting use case that everybody should follow. Next. Blockchain technology, FinTech Navigator by Walter, FIBREE FinTech Navigator. That's one of the things that is also another really important FIBREE initiative. And this is showing Austria as a specific use case, a specific country with rules and regulations. And I specifically really love the way it was built in terms of showing data, how blockchain and regulation regarding blockchain and tokens is open or closed, and what different rules of funding, financing projects, and so on in Austria. And I hope to see similar research for other countries. If we can put it together for systems all throughout the world, we can make a much more transparent system. Next. All right, so if anybody wants to know what FIBREE actually does on the advisory and consultancy, this is the article for them. So this article by Evangelos and Stephanie is showing, is basically listing different initiatives that FIBREE right? Market evaluation, use case reports, and so on. All right, next. NFTs and real estate. There's so much confusion in this space. Alexander is explaining the difference between fungible and non-fungible tokens in real estate. And it's definitely, the first article out of many to shed the light on this important subject. NFT, of course, is a non-fungible token, which is different from most tokens that were issued up to date to tokenize real estate. So why are we using NFTs to tokenize real estate? We'll read the article to find out. Next. Digital Assets by Walter, Christoph, and Armin. So this article is about how we can use blockchain technology in order to create digital stocks, right? So we're talking a lot about tokenization of real estate, but of course, many other assets can be tokenized, right? So we can, of course, create digital stocks and, basically how we can also use our own resources and create self-made digital assets, right? Without having utilizing a specific platform. All right, next. And finally, my final article on real estate tokenization as a bridge to DeFi, which was devoted to basically how tokenization is one of the only ways I think we're going to get to a true, freedom of ownership, freedom of transactions. This new DeFi or new finance 2.0 that we've all been waiting to get to, right? As individuals, as millennials, and beyond, and making some real world assets digital. First, digitizing is a first step towards a full process of finance digitization and finance decentralization. Okay, is there anything else? No. Okay, well, thank you so much for listening. I hope that everybody reads the report because it's fabulous. It's fantastic this year. The articles are very high quality and very informative. And let's take what we learned here and start implementing. Thank you.
Thank you, Yael. Thank you so much. And thanks to the 14 or so authors who took their time out to develop and write these articles, which were about, I think I counted about 17 or so of them. So that's pretty impressive. Our next presenter is Florian Huber, zooming in from Vienna, as mentioned. Florian will be talking about the state of blockchain in the year 2021. Florian, the floor is yours. Take over.
Thank you, John, for the nice introduction, and warm welcome from my side to the presentation of the state of blockchain in real estate in this year. As John already mentioned, I'm part of the founding team of FIBREE, and I'm located in the heart of Europe in Vienna, Austria, and here I'm working in the transaction space as a real estate broker. And generally, I'm very curious about digitalization in this space, and especially how blockchain technology can help us develop new processes or improve underlying business models. So, well, I'm proud to present the findings of this year. So what can you expect in a nutshell? So the report has 160 pages of valuable insights. And as Yael already presented, we have 19 articles by our industry experts. And the 40 countries where our FIBREE representatives are give you a detailed analysis about the country itself. You can reach out to the 119 local FIBREE representatives or leaf through the 400 products in the global database we found. As well, you get access to leading academic institutions or just reach out to our academic board. And one thing what we added this year to the industry report, which we think is quite crucial, that we are already given an outlook on the investors landscape. So investors, VCs, business angels who are seeking investments in the space of blockchain, prop tech, crypto, or early stage investments. Short about the methodology and sources. So we created a working group as every year. So we were 10 FIBREE regional chairs participating and gathering together, collecting all the information we needed for this year's report. So we analyzed the database of last year. We started in January. We went through different directories. We did a lot of desktop research. And on top of that, reaching out to the product suppliers, we made a market survey. And very important, of course, the input we gathered from all of our participants in the FIBREE network. So let's just dive into the findings of the report. And as I said, the foundation for this year's analysis was the product database by itself. So any product we found in the space of blockchain and real estate being active through our research phase from January to mid of June. The result was that we found 400 products, so comprising all the countries where we are represented at, plus another 22 countries where we don't have representatives yet, but blockchain and real estate products are available on the market. What we can see is that the trend is going up again compared to last year after a drop from 2019. So if we compare these findings with the Gartner hype cycle, we can see that we are somehow moving out of the trough of disillusionment, climbing the slope of enlightenment. So this means a little bit that we are now understanding the advantages of the technology and better, and how we can practically implement it, but still are aware of some limitations using the technology for the development of products. So we compared those findings as well with the perceptions of all of our local representatives, and they're pretty much on the same stage. So on average, they see that that we are at pretty much at the same position when looking at the Gartner hype cycle. All right, so where does the action actually happens? So looking at the global distribution, we found so the close to 400 products, they're spread upon the 5 regions we defined. So the most products are found in Europe, followed by North America and Asia Pacific region. Latin America, Middle East, and Africa are pretty much at the same level. Interesting is, so as we have the databases from last year and 2019, we can see how the availability of products in the space of blockchain and real estate have changed throughout those regions. I will go a little bit more detailed in the next slide into it, as every year we do the ranking throughout the countries and the cities. And so here we can see the change very clear, how countries are moving upwards or downwards with the availability or the offering of products. USA is still ahead, as it was last year as well, and in 2019, but so there's more products available this year, same as in UK and as well as in Australia. So any other products in the top lists of countries can be found in the APAC region, Asia Pacific, or mainly in Europe. The interesting thing is that when looking into Europe and into the countries itself, that compared to 2020, countries like Germany, Switzerland, Netherlands, or even France, Belgium, so they have less products available. The same can be seen with the cities as well. So New York is still on top of the cities with available products, close ahead of London. So they're competing with 28 to 29 products, which we found in those cities, followed by Singapore. And the notable trend was country-wise and even city-wise that well-established European cities like Berlin, Amsterdam, Munich, they have a decline in product availability, or even outside of Europe, we discovered that Dubai was strongly represented last year and lost product availability this year. So to narrow it down, we defined 8 segments within our research and which are close to the real estate life cycle. And we found out that the most products available are in the segment of invest and finance with approximately 44% and as well very strong represented markets and platforms with nearly a third of available products. We think that both of those segments, they relate very much. And so they take nearly 2/3 of product availability on the market. On the third position, and we think and we see that this is quite a strong part of products in the market, is the building technology, so to speak, the tech providers by themselves. So they have market share of nearly 15%. Fewer products we found in the other segments, as you can see: manage and operate, transaction and escrow services, research and evaluate, plan and build. And in the space of smart city solutions, only a few products are available globally. We as well ask our regional chairs where they think that, or we ask them to assess the level of engagement in each segment. And what we can see is that they as well see, so that's the average of 119 representatives throughout the network, that the engagement seems to be the highest in the invest and finance space, as well as on a very high level on the markets and platforms and building technologies. And to get a better understanding generally, what we did for this year's industry report is to really see where the market is at or which directions and developments we can expect. We created 2 key indicators such as entry point and FIBREE growth stages. So you can look into the directory of the industry report itself where we have short abbreviations. You can easily find out at what stages they are. The entry point basically explains where the initiatives for blockchain and real estate products originate. And as we can see is that 40% of the products we found, they originate on the tech side. So that more or less tech-driven startups, they approach the real estate market with their solutions. On the other hand, only a fifth of products with the entry point, they come from the real estate market by itself. So they are seeking more or less the technology, so that there's more initiatives from the tech side to be expected. Around a third, we see that both sides setting the initiatives. So either from the startup side, from the tech side, or from the real estate sides together. Looking at the growth stages, we try to find out where the startups we found and the products on the market are currently at. And the 3 stages we defined is growth stage 1, which basically means it's a prototype, it's a proof of concept, it's still under development. Growth stage 2, we saw that it is a minimal viable product already on the market, being used by a few persons or companies. Growth stage 3 already showed that they're well established. They have a fully working product in the market, and more than 3 market players using their product. So to give you a better orientation basically on how the growth stages and the entry points break down to the segments, we detailedly analyzed every segment, and you can see the split of the product availability region-wise and country-wise. And I give you a preview on the 2 biggest segments, which is finance and invest, and markets and platforms, to have an idea how we analyze the market. So in the entry points, we can see in that segment that they're basically driven by the tech side, not the real estate side, but especially in North America and Europe, the initiatives can come from both sides, but rather are coming from the real estate markets by itself. When looking at the growth stages, we see that that there's a small amount or small percentage of products already in use in the market, and so they actually, as they fully enter the market and have market players using it. And we can see that that happens very much in North America compared to the other regions. Especially in Europe, we see that there's, in the growth stages, there's a lot of products still in the proof of concept phase or in the development phase. This is quite similar in the Asia Pacific region, and just looking at the other regions is not that much happening so far. What are the countries where we would find products in growth stage 3 in Invest in Finance? We can see the US is leading the field with 23 products in Invest in Finance, and followed by countries like Australia, India, Brazil, Netherlands, and Spain. They pretty much have the same availability of products here. We did the same with markets and platforms, and we can see that looking at the entry points, that on this side, the initiatives moreover come from the real estate market by itself. So the real estate market product providers or startups, they're seeking the technology. So it's a little bit different compared to the Invest in Finance segment. But as well, there's a strong field in the middle that initiatives are coming from both sides. So we can see this is equally spread, nearly about, or so to speak, can be found in every region. The growth stages in the segment of markets and platforms, yes, it's a similar picture to Invest in Finance as well. We have a solid foundation of products available in growth stage 3, most of them Europe, North America, and Asia Pacific region. Interestingly to see is that North America has a big amount of products which are in growth stage 2, so to speak, MVPs on the market. So we could expect some more new products being found soon in growth stage 3. Looking at the top leading countries in that specific segment is that Canada is leading with markets and platforms, followed by US, UK, Netherlands, China, Poland, Italy. So it's well spread throughout the globe. So you can find products in that particular segments nearly all over the world. All right. So I won't go in detail with every segment. I think that would extend the presentation. But to sum it up, more or less, as I initially said, we created a survey reaching out to the product suppliers in the market, and this 10% responded. So it is quite representative. And we compared our desktop research with the outcome of the product survey by itself. And here we can see as well that the biggest segments are investment and finance and markets and platforms. So the findings of our desktop research and the survey are well aligned. Why do we think this is so? So when we ask the product suppliers in the survey what the main purpose was of the use of blockchain technology, we can see that most of them who answered said that we use it for tokenizing real estate. We want to use applications for smart contracts or digital ledger, or we just want to facilitate digital payments or give more transparency to transactions, or even just facilitate transactions through marketplaces. Just a small percentage said we use it for land registry or workflow management, and that is well aligned with the findings of the desktop research as well, when we think back of the product availability on the global market, that within the segment of manage and operate and smart city solutions, there are vaguely any products available on the global market. So basically, that brings us to the final conclusion, and taking into account the findings of the desktop research, of course, the statements of our regional chairs, the insights we gathered from the survey, we could basically say that there's a strong indication that further development can be expected in the investment finance space, and that this segment more or less remains the biggest at the moment. We assume that we can see developments closely related to the space of investment finance. So as said before, markets and platforms are somehow related to that space, and therefore we would say markets and platforms, building technologies are on the rise. One thing is what we ask in the survey as well, and I think that's very important to note here in the conclusion, is that still there is a lot of regulatory burdens and the lack of understanding, which are the biggest challenges we discovered. But in general, I think we are moving out of the slope and enlightenment, and the market is taking up, as we could see this year that 300 more products are available on the market. All right. At last, I just want to thank you to our big supporters helping us creating this industry report, making it possible, and a very special thank you to the working group and to the whole network in FIBREE. I think everyone who is active within FIBREE delivered very valuable insights to us, and so to make this very high quality product possible. And I just can announce that it will be available now on the website for download, and enjoy reading. Thank you very much.
Thanks. Hey, thanks, Florian. That's a lot of information. I was just curious, as you mentioned, the industry report will be available or is available on the website now?
Yeah.
Okay, and how many pages is it? Must be quite.
We have 160 pages of content, so to speak. Achim mentioned it that before, that we have 40 countries with double pages where you can find detailed information on each country. You can easily compare certain key figures country-wise. We as well created some figures which we compared with the database findings of last year, so you can see the development in each country. And on the other hand, we have 19 high quality articles Yael already presented. And I think, yeah, if somebody thinks we left something out, please let us know. We are very keen on having the next industry report 2022 ready. And yeah.
Okay. Thanks, Florian. Quite comprehensive. A lot of work went into that. I just want to remind the audience, please feel free to ask any questions, make some comments. Jo Bronkers in the background of this webinar, who's in the Netherlands, is going to help me out with the questions. Feel free to enter them into the chat box, and I see they're flowing in now, Jo. We have to keep an eye on that. So, rounding out the seminar is back to Achim Jadelski, who will be giving us an outlook on FIBREE and what's next in this year, from this year, 2021 and beyond. So Hakeem, please, the floor is yours. Take over.
Thanks a lot, John, and thanks, Yael and Florian, for these great insights. And yeah, I think I won't take much of your time for this. I think in a nutshell, so obviously we will continue what we did over the last year in future as well. So obviously there will be a next FIBREE Industry Report as one or central kind of publication. I think one of our biggest focuses is to be more concrete, like develop pilot projects. I think we have the unique object identity as almost active working group and product, if you want. And I think there we really see that working with the industry together, developing pilot project in different countries is the best way forward to actually kind of bring like the blockchain technology into application and create use cases around that as well. You've seen it in the article already. We started this year with the FIBREE challenge, the FIBREE tokenization challenge, but the FIBREE challenge itself will continue to be like a way of us to as well engage into application of technology. So as with the FIBREE tokenization challenge, we work together with technology providers and offer, like with the help of these providers, like to the community and to everybody, like the chance to engage with the technology and to provide use cases for your particular problem. And that's again a way to kind of lower the entry barrier into this topic and to kind of give everybody the chance to engage in it. So that's really open for real estate people as much as for anyone else. It's not meant to be for techies only. And we as well kind of started already now, what you can read in this industry report with the Innovation Lab, that's kind of the way for us to provide services. And this will definitely as well be a future topic we need to engage. And again, the goal is definitely to engage with the industry, to be very precise and deliver solutions and solve problems, and not to kind of just get lost into the technology, but really to focus on what is needed in the market. And I think that's in general, obviously, the aim of FIBREE to bring that to you guys. And obviously, like, how do we bring this to you? So we're currently working on a new membership platform to help everybody to engage with each other, especially to give better tools and more tools to our regional chairs, which are like at the heart of the organization. And so that you have the means to engage locally with your community as much as you are able to spread what you do locally across the international network of FIBREE. That's like the big task for the rest of the year for us. So this will be going live early next year, so in January or in October already as a test stage, and then in January we will be live. And I think this will kind of really be a shift within FIBREE to be better in communicating and in better kind of growing like solutions together. Maybe on a last topic to mention is like a focus we set ourselves is to improve like on the education side. So we created this webinar series as a first step to provide information to all of you. You've seen we have a strong academic board, so we will continue to work with academic board and engage with universities and educational institutions to develop like an educational path, like a corporate education path for everyone to engage deeper into the topic of blockchain and real estate. And I think in that context, we always also see like the kind of collaboration we plan with VCs and investors to actually kind of, again, build a bridge between like kind of investors and solutions applications.
Thanks so much, Akim. We got some really interesting questions flowing in. I'm going to throw these out to Florian and Akim right now and see if we can tackle them. One of the first questions that came out is let's see here. Why is Europe and the United States so active now and the other regions in the world almost silent? How can we activate other regions in terms of blockchain and real estate? Does anybody want to tackle that one?
Mm-hmm. I'm happy to answer that. That's obviously a very good question. And so I think to be obviously on one side, FIBREE started off in Europe. So we have a bit maybe like a better lead in there. Like the United States and like North America, they really picked up very well. So we have very good insights there. We still kind of have to build our network in these regions as well. So this might be as well limitations to be honest. But in general, I think we still have like a kind of good picture about it. So the direction, I think, is right as well. But that's exactly where FIBREE tries to help as well, to what I just mentioned, like to improve the communication. So if you have a kind of region in South America or in Africa and in parts of Asia, that if you start becoming active in FIBREE, you have access to all the knowledge in the FIBREE community. And so you don't need to start from scratch. You really can just get some experienced regional chair next to you who helps you to actually get started, and you get content from all over the world, like these webinars, for example, or like you have access to excellent speakers. And I think this is a way how we can support this development. And that's actually as well one of our core plans to do that.
Right. Here's another question which comes up a lot, I have to say. Can you guys discuss the biggest challenge of mass adoption, okay, for real estate tech and blockchain? You know, and I think this question revolves around where's the tipping point for acceptance as a normal course of doing business? Florian or Akeem?
Should I? Or
Yeah, if you want to, Achim, I'm fine.
Yeah, it's a big challenge. I mean, I think you have to find the pain point. That's what you have to really figure out where's the need, and then you have to develop a solution for that. It's not that you can come around with blockchain technology and say, well, listen, you have to use it. I think this has been done wrong in the past, and so what I mentioned, like the way we do it, like now, is like engaging more like on a institutional level, on a government level, because what is missing is like the infrastructure of the technology on which you can build the solutions. So right now, for private companies, for corporates, it's the challenge to actually deliver all this infrastructure to then maybe create some decentralized solution on top of this is too big. It's too far off. And so the way FIBREE is tackling this is to engage with institutions like the European Commission on the European level, on the government level in other countries, and to try to get their initiative to continue and start building this digital infrastructure, so that then private companies, startups, SMEs can actually build solutions on top of that. I think this is, for me, the biggest challenge, because companies alone can't really do this. I always compare it with streets and cars. So you can build a car, but if you don't have a street, you can't drive it. So somebody needs to build the streets in order that you can provide the society with cars. And I think this is the challenge we're currently in.
Thanks, Akeem. Here's another question. I think there's an easy answer to this, FIBREE answer. Where is the go-to forum or organization in the United Kingdom, UK, for real estate professionals with blockchain knowledge to further integrate into the tokenization space?
Can you read that once again?
Sure, sure. In the UK, where is the what's the go-to organization in the UK for real estate professionals with blockchain knowledge to further integrate into tokenization space? I would probably mention Florian or Chapter there.
Yeah, that's a good point. As we have 3 representatives in the UK, we have 1 in Ireland, and so I think that would be a good access point. A particular organization I don't have in mind directly. Achim, I don't know if you're aware of one.
No, I would actually. I say it's FIBREE. Obviously, if you're in real estate, you're interested in tokenization or blockchain, obviously then that's our approach. I mean, there might be others, but I think the CBC Construction Blockchain Association is there as well, who has a very more narrow focus on the construction side. But I think best way is to engage with your closest regional chair of FIBREE. And I mean, just to say that obviously, like, FIBREE is really open in cooperation with other organizations. So it's not that we claim they have to be a member of FIBREE to contribute or to exchange knowledge. We really like to open the doors to other institutions as well.
Thanks. Yeah, thanks, Akeem. We have a couple of minutes left. Teresa Kennedy over there out in New Jersey, here in the United States, had a question about pointing to valuations. I don't think we can really address it right now because we're running out of time, but Teresa will be joining, I think, is in the process of being vetted to become an RC, regional chair.
Mhm.
We can
Great.
convert back to her because she has some knowledge in that space. Let's see. Here's a question on tokenization. Is the trend in tokenization moving more in direction of tokenization of single assets or of fund structures or financial products, I guess REITs and that sort of thing? That's a good question because
Yep.
single assets or multiple assets, REITs and so forth, or hedge fund or funds.
Yeah, I think that's a really good question, and I think, I mean, it is not an either or like answer. So I think it's not that tokenization will make other products like REITs or like obsolete or something, nothing at all. I think it's really something that you can put next to these offers. And in some cases, maybe some of these current like traditional financial products will use blockchain technology in the back at some point, so that you actually then at the end of the day buy a blockchain product, but you don't really know that. So I see it really like as a like additional product, financial product in that case, that is consisting out of tokenized real estate. And it can be both, obviously, just for one, or like being a portfolio of real estate being tokenized.
Mm-hmm. I think in this particular case as well, I just want to point out that we have a working group on tokenization, and that will investigate deeper into this topic or this particular question to find out what direction we are heading, if it's single assets or if it's REITs or if it's funds. So I think we cannot really answer it right now, but just inform about the working group, or anybody could join the working group if somebody has something to contribute or wants to participate.
Yeah, I think that's key. Thank you for mentioning that, Florian, the tokenization working group. If you join FIBREE, you can certainly get involved in that. Tokenization is the top topic globally. Eric Bryant, the regional coach here in Southern California, makes a really good point. And from his perspective and from mine, and it sort of supports what you're saying, that he's seeing more financial products really than physical assets being tokenized or potentially being tokenized. Funds, real estate investment trusts, LLCs, and so on. One last quick question. We have a couple minutes left. From Marcel, I'm curious about the difference between tokenization versus crowdfunding.
Yeah, I'm happy to take that. So in a way, like obviously crowdfunding is like if the real estate is not there yet. So, and obviously that already exists and is kind of already around for a while. And in that case, to use tokens to do this would be just like kind of another technological option to do it, to be, in my opinion, to do it more efficient. And tokenization, I think, if I understand that right, in that case would be, in my opinion, rather like that you tokenize like an existing real estate, like real estate asset, and tokenize it. So in that case, it wouldn't be crowdfunding, but like tokenization of this existing asset. But technology-wise, obviously, it's the same component you use.
Thanks, Akeem. We're coming up to the magical 60-minute mark. I think we'll probably need to close, but I want to thank Akeem, Florian, Yael, and Joe Bronkers, who's in the background helping out with this. I remind you that this is being recorded. It will be available through the FIBREE website to their YouTube channel. You can catch up with it there. And this has been a terrific hour. I think we'll continue doing this in the future with the industry report, and maybe have, as Yael suggested, follow-up to this. So on behalf of FIBREE's board of directors, the regional chairs, and FIBREE members, I'd like to thank everyone for attending this particular special webinar on the industry paper launch. The next monthly webinar is next month, July 22nd, webinar number 9, and this is going to be from the legal working group from FIBREE, presenting on all things in the legal and regulatory space surrounding blockchain and real estate. So we hope to see you then. And signing off, thank you very much for attending. We'll see you next time.
Thanks a lot, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.